If you have any questions, just drop them in the chat. Hey, Carlos, let me go ahead
Up,
and put
Carlos.
this live on Facebook as well.
Ooh,
Therefore, we can
nice.
get more people. Now that I especially got my big 95,000 people group back.
Ooh, yeah.
Um, yeah, it was stolen and then I stole it back. So,
And it gets stolen.
trust in the wrong people, really.
Story of my life.
Yeah, trust the wrong people, and that's what happens. So, um, but it is what it is. It's
Yeah.
life.
And all's well that ends well.
Yep, life is about going up and going down and just kind of going with the flow and that sort of thing. All right, let's see. But it was a good Christmas present, to
Yeah,
get your work
Christmas is
back.
like 3 days away. I can't believe it.
Yeah, it's right around the corner. It flies so fast. So, I didn't expect it. It was like, the year just went by. We just had the conference in September, and then it's
Yeah,
already
man. 3
December.
months. Right? Yeah.
We're
One second.
halfway doing the next conference. So, let's see here.
Or two.
Yeah, we're already planning the next conference. The next conference probably in September or October. So we're still planning that, still getting speakers together and that sort of thing. So let me get all these going live, guys. That's hanging there, going into all the groups and everything and posting it so we can get as many people in here as possible. Get as many eyes, get as many questions.
Come
But yeah,
in.
I have to have you play some Led Zeppelin or something at the next conference.
Yeah, I'm down. I mean, I like some Zeppelin songs. I like When the Levee Breaks. Black Dog is good. Rock
Yeah,
and
you
roll.
guys, most
Anything
SEOs you
but
never
Stairway to
see.
Heaven. Anything but Stairway to Heaven. I have rules that I can't break. I'll never play that song again.
Yeah. So, but so don't see any questions, Carlos. If you have any questions, you can feel free to drop them here and here. People will just come in as they go. And they'll also drop them on Facebook. I'll try to keep an eye open up on Facebook. And let me go in here. Just got it everywhere. So, and Alfredo won't be here today because he's got some other things, but happening. He had an emergency or something. But AI content, does AI content rank? I mean, that's one question I get all the time. What's your process really in with your writers? How are you sourcing your writers? Carlos says, yeah, his interests are AI and AI content. It's probably the
Sweet.
number one question I get all the time is, does AI content rank? And how edited does it have to be to rank it? Should a content writer just slap something from Chat GPT? And I know all the answers that you've told me, at least like, from the conference.
Yeah.
Um, and kind of your process, and I've actually been implementing a lot of that.
Oh,
Um,
nice.
yeah, because it's like if you look at the way AI spits it out, if you garbage in, garbage out, but um, I that's why the whole time everybody, like especially yours when you're speaking, I'm sitting there just on iPad going taking notes, screenshots, everything. So,
Oh, nice. Thanks,
but
man.
yeah,
Thank you.
it's really, really good. I loved your stuff. But
Sweet.
but yeah, so I mean, could you probably take us to the process of when you're going to either, you know, when you're looking for someone to write good content, what are you looking for? Because a lot of the people that are especially in my ecosystem or around me, they're usually hiring virtual assistants or trying to look for writers that are not, they don't care if they're using AI. They just don't, they have this fear of using strictly AI and Google picking it up, you know.
Yeah. So for me, I think that I think good content is good content. I don't care how somebody makes it, like I don't care if it's a typewriter or a pen or Google Docs or AI or your own brain. I mean, as long as it's good content, right? So I think that's what's important. What I look for when hiring a writer is somebody who can write clearly, which is super important. Two, somebody that has like their own unique persona, has their own voice, gets the brand tone, can write as if they're the persona behind the brand, is adaptable like that. I think that's super important too.
Yeah.
And somebody that just gets it. I think that there's an it factor, so when it comes to like, for example, music, like stars, a producer or like an agent will just say when they see somebody that has it, they know, but they
Yeah.
don't necessarily know what it is. They're just like, okay, that person has it. They've got the it factor. They've got the personality. They got the look. They got the talent. For me, when I look at a writer's samples or I give them a writing test, I look at the results and I think, okay, that person's got it. And
Mhm.
sometimes it's hard to really put a finger on, but if you read most web content, it sounds exactly the same. So if you're talking about like SEO tips, it might be like, if you've ever heard of SEO or search engine optimization, you know that it's important to, like super
It's
bland, super
bland and
corporate.
written like a robot
Yeah.
almost.
Sounds like a Wikipedia article, sounds like a corporation, exactly. Sounds like an academic essay. When I meet somebody who can write clearly and in their own voice and very conversationally and with energy and power, I know that they've got it. So that I look for things like that, the unique persona, the clear writing, the conversational style, using I and you very often, writing in short sentences, um, writing as if they're speaking directly to the reader. Like, you know, hey, if you want to learn about SEO, okay, let's talk about it. The first thing I like about SEO is this. The second thing I like is that, just almost sounding like they're talking,
Conversational.
right? Yeah. And again, it's really hard to pinpoint, but I can definitely recognize it right away. So that's what I look for first.
Interesting. So it's like a lot of them, especially you could, if you're using ChatGPT, there are dead signals, there are giveaways, the intro, the
Yeah,
outro, and then the way it talks throughout the entire thing. So
yeah, the word choice, especially like ChatGPT uses words that no human would ever use in a
some
conversation.
big academic words
Yeah,
that
big
would
academic
never
word.
be used. It's
Academic and also like just really, really, you know, I would say like high register, very professional sounding like adjectives, where it's like SEO is undoubtedly a pivotal force in the online. It's like, what are you talking about, man? It sounds like trash.
I got one I was writing earlier, and I wrote something that it brought memories back. That's the way I
Yeah.
said it. When I put it
Yeah.
back in ChatGPT, it says unexpectedly whisking me back. Like
Yeah, it's like F.
the
Scott
only time
Fitzgerald.
someone's mentioning whisking is going to be with
Yeah.
whiskey, you
Yeah,
know.
Wisconsin.
But stuff like that, these big words that a lot of
Yeah.
people either A, don't use, and then B, a lot of people don't even comprehend what they even mean.
Yeah. I mean,
How
you're
can
using a lot
understand
of
it.
not are using your normally your site is going to have a lot of non-native speakers who would be like whisking. What are you talking about? And then they translate it and they're like, wait, whisking? What? Mixing?
Yeah,
It doesn't make sense, right?
yeah.
ChatGPT also uses really, really stupid analogies or
Mhm.
metaphors. Would be like, the internet is akin to a bustling marketplace in medieval Europe where traders are show. And I'm like, what is happening right now?
Mhm.
This makes no sense.
So how do you
It's
train ChatGPT not to do that sort of thing? Because I know one of the things you talk about in the conference is you tell it specifically to write, let's say in a third level or third grade or fourth grade level reading.
Yeah. So the way you do that is you create a set of editorial guidelines, and the editorial guidelines will be things like the reading level. So you could do like fifth or sixth or seventh grade reading level.
Hmm.
Two, you would give it a specific set of instructions, like what not to do.
Hmm.
Don't use big words, don't make analogies, don't use humor, don't use hype, don't use sales language. All of that is really important because that will tone it down a lot. And then also you want to give it like a set of like tone adjectives to use. So you could say something like, write very straightforward, write down to earth, tone it down. Write casually. I would stay away from things like personable, friendly, enthusiastic. I would stay away from that because ChatGPT thinks that means like getting hype. If you say friendly, it'll go way over the top. Like it'll be super
So
salesy
whenever you use those terminologies, it's going to take it over the top.
for sure. Because it doesn't like ChatGPT is pretty stupid. Like people think it's an amazing tool. It's really incredible that humans have created something like this, but it's not nearly as smart as you think it is. It's like or well, not you, but in general, people think it is, right? It's if you say a lot of people talk to ChatGPT in the wrong way, it'll be like people will say things like, write like a CEO with 10 years of experience. ChatGPT doesn't know what a CEO sounds like. It doesn't know what 10 years of experience means. It can't analyze. For example, if you say, write like an SEO person with 10 years of experience,
Mm.
ChatGPT will take that literally verbatim, word for word. I actually was experimenting with this last night because I'm making the course. I said, write like a CEO of a SEO company with 10 years of experience. And it
Mhm.
literally wrote, hi, I'm a CEO with 10 years of experience. Let me tell you about the SEO
I've
role.
had
It
the
took
same thing happen when I did
my
some.
literally, so um, so I'm not sure exactly how it works because obviously I didn't make it, but when you use a very simple word like straightforward or um, casual or maybe something like I use down to earth or easy to understand or
Mhm.
simple.
Mhm.
ChatGPT can see the definition of that word,
Mhm.
on the internet, wherever it's pulling the information from. And it can also have access to all different websites that talk about tone and writing and things like that. It's a very simple adjective,
Yeah.
and ChatGPT can emulate that. But if you say, write like you have 10 years of experience, ChatGPT can't analyze that.
Can't
It can't,
comprehend it. It can't.
yeah, it can't figure
It
out what
has
that
no
means.
data.
It needs to be a very simple instruction.
Mm.
And then, so another thing is that, like, if you say, ChatGPT, write me about the benefits of SEO, it's it's going to have trouble really comprehending what the right benefits are for your audience. It doesn't understand your audience. It can't really analyze the situation. It might talk about the wrong things. It might talk about it might just say, oh, the benefit of SEO is organic rankings. You'll rank number one, and that's good. So it can't really analyze like in depth. But if you say very, very, let's say, a detailed prompt like explain the benefit of ranking number one for a company and explain how that affects click-through rate, traffic to your website, et cetera, et cetera. Then ChatGPT knows exactly what you want and can expand on that very,
Mm.
very, very well. But if you just ambiguously say something like write about the benefits of SEO for a company, then it's going to get confused and it's going
Going
to
to
be
give
like, well,
you garbage.
what kind of company, what kind of benefit do you want? What do you want me to say about the benefit? There's too many different variables and ChatGPT is not smart enough to get it. But yeah,
With
if you say exactly the benefit you want for who and with details, then it will
with your
fill out.
audience, with all the details and everything else.
Right.
There was
Yeah.
someone that was writing earlier who, I mean, I honestly respect the guy, Dennis Yu in Facebook, and he's, I mean, big time digital marketer type guy. He's been involved in Facebook and he speaks with Google and all this other stuff. And one of the things he said, which was, he said, Chat GPT, the biggest difference from what I remember he said, don't quote me on it, but from my recollection of what he said was, Chat GPT is based not necessarily on factual data.
Mhm.
Whereas what Google is going after with their AI is factual data. Um,
Yeah. I mean, ChatGPT is based on like language models, right?
yeah,
I don't know exactly how it works, but yeah, it's trying to mimic like, well, at least when it's writing, it takes what's on the web and analyzes the language and it tries to mimic the human speech. It doesn't necessarily care what's coming out of its mouth, right?
yeah. And then I seen that it's like another, I had someone, people always ask you, does it matter if it's AI? And Google at first, remember they came out and they said, we don't like AI content. You
Mhm.
know, we penalize you for AI content. And then they changed it to say, unless it's helpful content. They added that
Yeah,
clause in where it unless it's helpful content.
yeah.
Carlos,
I think that if you oh, sorry, go ahead.
no, go ahead. Carlos said, I do like to use ChatGPT, Bart, and Bing and mix them together. It's just a statement. So, but go ahead.
Yeah, I use Bard as well. I think it's pretty good. Bard is good for so what we're doing with my main client is that we put into Google Bard, hey, we're writing an article about this. What do you think this type of reader wants from this article? And it will actually like spit out a very good set of suggestions and say things like somebody who is this type of reader coming to this article has this kind of intent and will want to see this, and this. And I
Interesting.
mean that's straight from the horse's mouth, right? That's Google Bard, right? So
Yeah.
I assume that if you listen to what Bard says, that means that you will be in like, let's say, good standing with Google. I think that's a good thing to do. Um, I think that ChatGPT is also really good at analyzing other content. You can put your content, you can create content with ChatGPT and then ask ChatGPT like, hey, how would you use Google's helpful content guidelines to rate my content out of 10? Like, what do you think about the readability? What do you think about the helpfulness? What do you think about the trustworthiness, the uniqueness, things like that? And it'll actually give a score, and then I can say, okay, well, it's not trustworthy enough. Can you edit it to be more trustworthy by
Interesting.
adding personal experience and anecdotes? And it can do that. Yeah,
So you could
it's
literally take the article and put it in and say, please analyze this article that I mean my writer or whoever gave me based on Google's helpful content guidelines. And it will tell you yay or nay. Interesting.
yes. I mean, it can even do that for its own, like the content it creates itself. You can get
So
ChatGPT to edit itself.
that's
Um,
interesting.
so this is something that I was talking to Ben about. So I want to give him credit here. Is that the problem is not with ChatGPT. The problem is with the people who are
Mm.
putting bad instructions into ChatGPT. And everybody knows the whole, bad in, bad out, shit in, shit out, right?
Yep.
But nobody actually seems to know what good instructions are because they are skipping steps. They think that ChatGPT, because it can write, it's a writer. It's not. It's an AI language tool that's an assistant. You're the one who has to know what the good writing is and give it the correct instructions. And when I give ChatGPT my instructions, the end product is pretty good. It's not great, it's not amazing, but it's pretty good. And I do take a lot of time to make the guidelines, to make the outlines, to do the prompting right. But if you're not getting good content from ChatGPT, the problem is not with ChatGPT, it's with you.
Your
And
prompt.
I
Are you going to be
yeah,
going over that in your class, in your course and stuff that you're working on?
yeah,
Okay.
100%. And because the problem is that everyone thinks that because they have ChatGPT and it could put words on a page, that it's a writer. It's not though. Writing is a skill. You need to know benefits. You need to know depth, elaboration, tone, readability, all of these things, emotion. It's on you, and you need to know what your reader wants. You need to know the intent behind the search. These are all
Mhm.
the writing skills that are super important that most people don't have, and that's why
Yes. Most people didn't have it before ChatGPT came out and they still don't have it. You
exactly,
know,
exactly.
you
I
ask
always
most
tell
people,
people,
who's your audience? And they're like, well, it's, roofers or whoever. And it's like, you don't even have
I
a
did
clue, bro.
I did a workshop and I did a workshop here in Chiang Mai, and I told people that you need to, understand what your audience wants in order to improve the content. And a few people asked me like, well, what do readers want? What should my tone be? What should
Mm,
my brand be like? And I'm like,
yeah.
oh, dude, you got to do this stuff before you have a website, like
Yeah.
you have to know these things.
That's all the
And
stuff like Russell Brunson and them talk about before even building out if you're well, in their case, their funnel. It's like, who's your audience? Women, what do they like? Okay, do they like cats? Do they eat, do they like,
yeah,
is this a vegetarian? Is it someone that eats meat? You know, how
Yeah,
do they like their
actually, like,
steak? Oh, they like steak. Okay, what type of steak? Is it Wagyu steak? Is
doesn't.
it sirloin steak? What is it? You know, most people
Yeah.
don't have
Um,
a clue.
and I mean, I don't think that everybody, if you have like an SEO content site, I don't think you need to be like super in depth about your customer avatar,
Yeah,
but you do need to at least understand like what are benefits of what just in general, what are
just
benefits
what
when
are
you
the problems that
what
you
are
know
the
your
problems with this?
service or whatever solves? You know, at least
Yeah.
basic stuff like what's on your client's mind. You know, simple
I
stuff.
didn't even start using AI until a few months before the Estonia conference last year. And there had been people who had been using ChatGPT for a long time and talking about prompt engineering and all this crap that I'm just like, what is this stuff? And as soon as I started using ChatGPT, I was just talking to it like I would talk to a human writer, giving them instructions on how to write an article. And I was getting great results. And I was like, oh, this ChatGPT thing is really easy, just because I have the writing knowledge, so it's easy for me to tell ChatGPT what I want.
Yeah.
And if you know exactly what to tell it and how to speak to it, you get a really great product. And the reason people are struggling with it is because they don't know what to tell it or how to speak to it or what they're even going after. And I always tell people autopilot doesn't mean you can fly a plane.
Yeah.
I mean, zero civilians have ever landed a commercial airliner out of the sky with an autopilot.
Yeah.
Zero. You know,
Zero.
it's never happened. Like ChatGPT is an autopilot.
Yeah.
Uh, it can help you take off. It can, fly the plane in the air and it can plot the course, but you still need to be a pilot in order to use it, you know? And if you were, imagine you never did SEO before and you just logged into ChatGPT, you couldn't be like, build me an SEO site, you know? But for some reason, this doesn't compute with us like a lot of SEO people. Well, they'll be like, they've never written an article before. They don't know what good writing is. They've never even thought about it, to be honest with you. And then they get on ChatGPT and they're like, write me 1,000
Oh, no, no, no,
words.
no. Step one,
Yeah.
I'm gonna now I got Chat GPT. They go, I fire all my VAs. I can do everything they were doing. And
Yeah.
then they go on a Chat GPT and do all this, and they find out, oh, it's not as easy as I thought it was.
Right.
Why does this look like
Yeah.
crap? Why is my rankings not ranking? You know?
Yeah. Yeah, man. And it's sad. I never want people to lose their work or their incomes or anything like that. A lot of people have been hit hard by
Yeah.
the recent helpful content update, but at the same time, it's like if you've just been putting up really trash content for years and years
Yeah.
and years, you can't
I
expect
mean,
that
it's
to
like
last.
back in the day, whenever before Panda and Penguin and all the koala bears and all that crap and all
Yeah.
those updates came out, we used to just do spamming, and you essentially could
Yeah.
spam search engines to death and get ranked.
Oh yeah,
And
keyword stuffing
that,
and
yeah,
cloaking and all that stuff.
that should have never been the case, and that was never SEO.
Yeah.
It was never the intent of the search engine. The search engine has always been to help the end user. And
Right.
Google gets to make money in the process, of course. But the thing is, if you're going to produce crap content or a crap website, it's not going to. I have people all the time be like, well, I'm ranked number one, but I don't get leads. I don't get phone calls. Well, and it goes back to once again, well, who's your ideal client, your avatar? What's your offer? You do even
Mhm.
have a CRM set up? Are you educating them? I mean, a bunch of stuff. But to me,
Yeah.
it's always been the case. To me, I don't think any of these quote unquote helpful content update is really an update per se.
Okay.
Kind of like, I think it's an update in most people's mind, but I think Google is kind of just telling you this is what's been important to us all along.
Yeah. Okay. I understand what you mean. I've been telling people since like 2014 or 2015. It's like you need to write better content. You
Yeah.
need to have better content. But um, it was a different game back then. And also, if you look at some of these big sites like Tech Radar and Tom's Guides and all this stuff, their content is absolute trash.
Yeah.
I don't know if I could swear on this
You can
podcast.
definitely square.
Oh, okay. Yeah, it's just absolute shit, man.
Yeah,
But Tech Radar just produces a ton of content. It has a ton of authority. It's got a ton of links. It's always gonna, well, at least for now, it's gonna rank because
gonna
it's just
rank
such a
until Google
site.
changes that. Yeah,
But like most SEOs aren't Tech Radar, like
yeah.
it's like you don't have the benefit of having a, 1,000-year-old site with a, DR of God knows what.
Yeah, I mean, I have people ask me that crap all the time. They want to compete again. They're so happily in a niche that their competition is, let's say, someone like that, and you're trying to compete against them, and they got hundreds of thousands of pages and hundreds of thousands of backlinks, and they're
Yeah,
old as dirt, and
yeah.
you're the new kid on the block, and you think you're going to take them out. It's just not going to happen. It's not even realistic. So,
You're gonna have to go a different route. You're gonna have to like, you know, take the social media, paid ads, YouTube, something like that, building like legit funnels, making an ebook, building a real business. It's going to be hard to outrank people like Tech Radar or, CNET or something like that.
yeah. So besides AI, because I like to always ask people, I follow you a little bit. Some people may not know you and stuff like that. I kind of want to know what are you up to? I see you obviously play guitar. I see you play some poker. I see you travel
Yeah,
back and forth, that sort of
yeah,
thing. You're
been moving
probably one of
around.
the more interesting SEOs that I actually get to see
Oh, really? Thanks,
live
man.
per se, because most
Thank
SEOs
you.
don't show you their life and you'll sit down and just strumming and playing a song and
Yeah,
stuff. I think it's
thanks.
cool.
Yeah, I like to play. I like to, you know, I like to share my love of music with the world. So that's a pretty big thing for me. I just bought a bass guitar, so I'm trying to learn
Mhm.
a new instrument. I've been playing guitar since I was like 11 years old. So, and
Nice.
eternally now. And Yeah. So other than that, I'm kind of on break from work. I'm like on a 30-day sabbatical just because this year has been crazy. I've been to a bunch of conferences. I've traveled around the world. I've been literally like a big circle around the world from
Yeah.
Saigon to the US, England, Estonia, Czech Republic, Dubai, Philippines. So it's just been and now I'm in Chiang Mai. It's been a
You're
whirlwind.
going back to the Philippines in January. What are you going to be there for, if I could ask?
So I'll probably be in BGC. I heard there's going to be a DC event.
Uh-huh.
Uh, and I want to speak at the event and I want to meet people, network. I know a few people there.
Yeah.
I was in DC before. I stayed there like when the conference was happening. I was there for like a week before that,
Yep.
and I really liked it. I thought it was amazing. Like it reminded me of New York. Yeah, just
Yeah.
nicer and cleaner and
BGC
people
is
are
like
actually friendly.
I personally New York probably comes the closest I've seen to
Yeah,
BGC. BGC is like whole nother level. Um,
yeah, yeah.
so
Super
I
nice.
really like it. It's expensive, but to me it's worth it, especially with all the modern technology and everything they have over there and stuff. So anyone
Mhm.
that's ever in Manila, go to BGC and you'll understand what I'm talking about. So
Yeah,
uh,
it's an incredible place. Yeah, other than that, what have I been up to? I'm working on an AI content course. I'm taking a break from things, as I said now, but still kind of keeping my ear to the ground.
mhm.
So the AI course is going to cover things like prompting, creating editorial guidelines, creating the foundation for good content, maybe a little bit about training your writers, editing the content, quality control at scale,
Mhm.
all those different things.
When do you
Uh,
think that'll be available?
maybe a month or two from now.
Okay,
So hopefully by
cool.
February,
Yeah, 'cause
that's
what we'd wind up doing, most of the stuff like what I do typically, in your case, I'd wind up buying it and then training our team leader on it, and then they can train the staff on it, type of a
yeah,
deal.
that's I think that's what most people do. I know some people will buy my course that I have the copywriting course already, web copy masterclass, and some people will buy it and then they'll turn it into like a slideshow with all like, bullet point, like their own like condensed version.
Yeah,
They'll do like a presentation to their company or they'll give it to their writers or VAs or to their manager and let them train people.
yeah. Because right now, what I do is I usually train my leader of whatever department in my SOP, and then go on and so forth. But now, like in this case, I'd actually train myself on it then train them, then let them train everybody else because I kind
Nice.
of want to know it myself too. There's a difference between, I guess, like most staffing agencies out there, it's a staffing agency and there's no one that quote unquote necessarily the lead, me, if you will, me or Kevin would never train them. We would have someone
Mhm.
else.
Yeah.
Usually is what happens, but in my case, I usually do the training. So, but let's see, Carlos, you want to start a course as well for what customers, your customers? I don't know what type of customers you're into because I forget what your niche is, Carlos. So, but
Oh, yeah, it's really a complicated question, man. It depends on what the course is about and who your audience is, for sure.
because he's talking about pricing and stuff. It's one good way of getting what they call it, reoccurring income coming in, unless you do a one-off. What I mean, so sorry for AI training. Yep. Yep, Kevin's gonna be coming out with one soon, so yeah, awesome. Yep, same
Yeah,
thing.
pricing is a dicey thing. Like pricing is really difficult to understand in the beginning because you really need to know who your audience is, the perceived value of the course, the perceived value or the perceived authority of you as well. Like, do you have the clout, or the authority, so to speak, to sell a very expensive course? Because if nobody knows you and your course is $999 and people have never heard of you before, they're not going to buy it. Um, so it really just depends on so many different factors. I think the best thing to do is kind of look around and see if there are similar courses and what they're priced at and kind of evaluate your course and your authority versus those people. And
Big one that most people don't have is the authority.
yeah, yeah,
So,
it's super important.
or even
The
a
second
brand.
thing you can do is start very low. Just start very low and test it. That's what I did with my course. I started it like way lower than I thought, and I was getting a lot of sales. And I was like, oh, okay, so if I'm getting a lot of sales at this price point, I think I can raise the price. And I just kind of raised it steadily from there.
Yeah, that's what like Brunson and them talk about is you start out and you're making the course and then you kind of find out what they want, how much you're willing to pay, and then once you do that with your test audience, then you can bump it up.
Yeah, for
Especially
sure.
once you get some case studies and you get testimonials and stuff like that too, which I know Kevin has, but Carlos, if you get that, then you can do that too. So same thing, like you said, same thing. AI content, who's the audience, target audience, problem you're trying to solve, what's the end solution, that sort of thing. So, well, if you're gonna be in January, I'm pretty sure you're gonna be at casino in it, but they're
Oh
having
yeah. Oh,
tournament.
that's another reason I'm going. I totally forgot to mention that. Like, there are actually cash games in the Philippines.
Yeah,
So I'm usually in Vietnam. Vietnam really only has tournaments. Some casinos, like in Phu Quoc, have cash games, but it's too far away. So I'll definitely be at Okada
yeah. I
playing some
remember
cash.
you told me he's like, I got a phone call. You went and did your phone call, then I seen you right back afterwards, a couple of hours later.
Yeah, yeah.
The man goes deals
Uh,
with his clients and comes back to the tables.
yeah. No, I had a Q&A with my students in Blog Growth Engine. So I had to quit the game, go
Yeah, that's
upstairs,
fun though.
dress up nice, look all professional.
Yeah,
I did an hour Q&A and then it boom, shut the laptop right back down to the game.
awesome, man. Well, that's awesome as always. Let me know when the course is available and ready and stuff, because I definitely want to jump on that, and anybody else should jump on it. And then I can also, once the course is available, I'll push it out to everybody and let them know as well too. And we could have you
That would
back
be
to
awesome.
talk about it too. So,
That
but
would be
yep.
great. Thanks.
All right, man. But yeah, just let me know. Let me know, and I'll have you back on here, and I'll let the audience know as well too.
Cool.
And this will be replayed for anybody that missed it. Will be replayed on YouTube and replayed in the groups as well. So,
Cool.
appreciate it as always. What time is it where you're at now?
It is now 8:40 a.m.
Oi, yeah.
Oh
All
yeah, I
right.
was up at 7 o'clock, man. I couldn't sleep. I was waiting outside the coffee shop for it to open. First time in my life, I think. Normally I'm coming back from the party at like 6:45 a.m., waiting for the coffee to open. This time I was waking up. It's strange.
Interesting. All
So
right,
I'll
man.
be in
We
the Philippines at
appreciate
the
it.
end of January. Let's hit the casino.
Yeah, if I January 1st is our anniversary, so as soon as I get back there, I'm gonna go back to Surrey, so but yep, if I see you again, I appreciate it, and I will talk to you soon. See you guys, and thank you as always, Kevin.
Right. Thanks a lot.